everybody. I'm doing a new batch of Christmas cookies today. This is a new recipe. It's called Christmas Swirl cookies. It's pretty easy, or seems to be. I have 2 sticks of unsalted butter. And if you don't have unsalted, you can use salted, just don't add the teaspoon of salt later on. So 2 sticks of butter, 1 1/4 cup of granulated sugar, and I already beat those together. So it's kind of a nice light colored dough so far. And now I'm going to add 1 egg. There we go. And I'm using 3 teaspoons of vanilla. If you like other extracts, you can do 1 teaspoon of vanilla, 2 teaspoons of what other flavor you like. Sometimes I use almond, but today I'm just going to do it strictly vanilla, just in case there's people that have almond allergies. All right, so that's the vanilla. I'm going to mix this all together just to incorporate it. Can I do that stuff really quick? All right, and now I'm going to add 3 cups of flour, a teaspoon of cornstarch, a teaspoon of baking powder, and a teaspoon of salt. Again, if you use salted butter, don't add the salt in this step. I had unsalted butter, so I am going to use the salt, and I have this super fine salt. I like using this when I'm baking. Okay, and then we have to do our flour. I'm going to do 1 cup at a time. So there's 1 cup because it always goes all over the place. So okay, there's 2. There it goes. And 3. All right, let's get that last cup of flour in. Here we go. Okay, we're just incorporating this flour. We don't want to overmix it. Once this is mixed, we're going to divide it into 3 equal portions. 1 portion we're going to keep vanilla. We're going to do 1 with green food gel and 1 with red food gel. If you don't have the gel, that's okay. You can use food coloring. The gel just seems to mix in easier. So if you have gel, use that. Okay, it's coming together here. All right, let me do this. Let's get that off there. There we go. Okay. I'm going to get 2 other bowls out. So here's our dough. I'm just going to get that all together so I can try to mix it, divide it into 3 equal portions. Okay, let's see here. If I do that. Let's see how it looks. There's 1, I think. There's the other. And add some. I'm just eyeballing this, but because what you're going to end up with 3 rectangles of the same size, hopefully. We'll see how good I was at estimating this, and you know what? It'll be all right no matter what. So I'm leaving this one the white color. Here's my green gel. So I'm going to put some of this in there. I'm going to mix this up. Let's see. Sometimes it's easier to do it with your hands. The only bad thing is you're going to end up with green hands. Then when we do the red, well, all right. So I'm going to work on this. And when I'm done, I'm going to get plastic wrap. I'm going to form these into a rectangle and put them in plastic wrap, and they will go in the refrigerator for an hour. It's really important not to skip that step. You need the dough chilled. So I'm going to do that, and then I will come back to you when we take them out of the refrigerator, and you can see how we roll them and bake them. I have my oven preheating to 350. I have my 3 colors of dough ready to roll out. It's said to roll them out on the plastic. So I'm going to start with green because that's the first layer that goes down. And it's said to roll it 7 by 12. Doesn't seem like it's going to roll out to that big, but we're going to try it. I brought my measuring tape because sometimes I'm just not very good at estimating inches. So let's see here. Let's see where I'm starting here. So at the furthest, oh, that's 7 right there. And this is 11. So pretty good. Just going to move this here. All right, I need to get that a little wider, that end a little wider. And then I think we're good for the 7 inches wide. Now I just want to get this okay. Let's check this now. 7, 12. We're good. It's not the most beautiful rectangle, but it'll work. So I'm going to take this and flip it on a baking pan just to get them layered. We'll do the white next. I love this rolling pin. It's the French rolling pin, so it just tapers. I don't know. I guess since my mom was from France, anytime there's anything French cooking or baking, I always give it a try. My mom was a great cook and baker. I don't know how she did it. She always had a home-baked snack ready for us when we got home from school. And at dinner was always a hot meal with dessert. Okay. All right, that's pretty good. I'm just going to do it a little wider. It's almost 7, so let's just... Okay, and then this one's going on top of the green. And then the final one is the red. I think it is easier to, before you chill them, to kind of put them in a rectangle instead of just chilling them in a disc. There we go. Okay, let me show you what it looks like. Here's the 3 layers. Can you see them? All right, all we're gonna do right now is just kind of roll them together to get them to stick to each other. And this recipe I'm using says to cut the edges so you're working with a nice clean surface. I'm not going to be able to do that totally, but and then is over here. It says to cut one of the long edges, where the red is a little shorter than the other. So that's the side that we're going to start cutting. Not cutting, sorry. That's the side that we're going to start rolling. All right, we're going to roll this into a log. There's my oven. We're going to roll this into a log, and we're going to use the paper to kind of guide us, just to help us get started here. When we get to the end, it says to just kind of push everything together. I have a feeling I'm not doing this as neatly as a professional baker would, but you know what? We're just going with it. Okay, so right here, I'm just kind of sealing the green. And then the fun part starts. We're gonna dump the cup of sprinkles on here and roll this into it. I don't know, I just think that sounds like fun. And the sprinkles I got, I was coming home from Rochester and I stopped at this Amish farm and they had this whole container of colored sprinkles. And I thought, I'm going to make those cookies this week, so I'm buying those sprinkles. Okay, here's the cup. I'm just going to dump it right on there. And now we're rolling this. We really want to make sure we cover it with these sprinkles. So I'm going to roll it a few times and really make sure we get them in there, because that's part of how festive the cookies look when they come out of the oven. Who doesn't like colored sprinkles? Rainbow sprinkles, all different colors here. Yeah, this is awesome. I feel like I'm back in kindergarten playing with clay. Who doesn't like clay or Play-Doh? I always loved the way Play-Doh smelled. I always wanted to eat it, but I knew I wasn't supposed to. Sure smelled good though. Believe me, this cookie dough smells better than Play-Doh, if you can believe that. All right. That's what we're gonna do. Now I'm taking a sharp knife, and again, I'm gonna check. It said 1/3 of an inch. So that's a half, that's a fourth, that's a third. Okay. this is the important thing. However you slice them, you want them all to be the same thickness so that some don't over bake. So I'm gonna, we'll put that's an end, and I'm gonna say, there we go. I'm gonna try to be careful. I'll spread them out a little bit because they will spread a little. You know, it would be great if somebody would design something that has these different thicknesses that you can just use as a guide. Because I got to tell you, even though I'm trying to keep them the same, I know some are thicker than others. But it's not like 1 inch and 1/4 inch. They're pretty close. They look nice. Just, I'm going to lift this tray up and show you how cool the swirl looks. And again, I probably didn't do it as great as I should have, but can you see? All right, we're going to put those in the oven and then I'll show you how they look. All right, I just took these out of the oven. You guys, they look so pretty. And listen, on the directions, it said it's better to take them out sooner rather than later. It said do not let them get browned on the edges. So I'm always so skeptical about that. But I took them out and they look perfect. They're lightly browned on the bottom. I'm supposed to wait 15 minutes, but very lightly browned on the bottom. But they look beautiful. I'm so excited about these. I am going to taste one, but I'm going to wait 10 or 15 minutes before I move them. All right. I hope you have a great day. And if you want to make pretty Christmas cookies, this is a recipe to use. It really was easy, just a little time consuming because you have to wait for the dough to get cold. All right. Be shiny.